Hey everyone, welcome back to the Story World Survival series. I know we took a little break there for a few weeks to kind of get a little fresh and think about some ideas and just to not wear this world out too much by only doing this. I actually had a lot of fun with the commentary long plays I made, and I think other people enjoyed them. So definitely keep an eye out. Those are going to continue to happen. My plan roughly right now is to do one of these videos, a Story World Survival video, and then do one of the commentary long play videos. So pretty much every other week you're going to get a Story World Survival video, and then every other week other week you're going to get a commentary long play. So definitely, let me know what you guys are thinking of those, and let me know if you have any ideas or anything you'd like to see me try. I'm also curious to see if people want me to revisit certain worlds that I do in those long plays, because those are a lot of fun and I can totally see building one of those up more completely. So I would love to revisit some of those worlds and kind of play around with some extra builds that we can add. But obviously today we are in the Story World Survival series again, and we have gotten a ton done in this world. I feel so good about everything that's happening here. We built the smelting house over here in last video. You can kind of see just a little bit of it poking out, and I'll get close to it so you can take like a real look at it. We've got kind of the structure here, which is going to be, I think, like a smithing kind of situation with, furnaces and anvils and everything. Obviously, the interior is empty right now, and we will address that. But yeah, so this is going to be like sort of the smithing area, and then down here is our smelting area. I've got a bunch of furnaces going right now, smelting me some smooth stone for one of the projects I wanted to work on today. So, and then this is our lava generator, so we can kind of just have an infinite source of fuel and just sort of fire away on that when we need it. We won't have to worry about waiting for or finding coal to continue smelting stuff. So that was a huge move forward. Not having to waste my coal on that is a big game changer. Over the hill, I'm not going to run all the way over there to show it to you guys right now, but over the hill is the logging house. Actually, you know what we can do to get over there quickly is we can just free cam it. So what we did here is we just built a little structure to kind of be the base of operations in this valley, which is now going to be my tree gathering area. So we have a huge area for spruce. We've got a bunch of dark oak. Back here, we've got some acacia, we've got some birch, and we've got a large area for some oak trees. So this is a really good area for kind of moving the tree farm out of the way, so that way it's not kind of this ugly little nook over there. It's actually, we were gathering trees right here where the smelting house is now. So, and you can tell because I wasn't able to replace all the posdol with regular dirt. So it's great to kind of have this a little bit more cleaned up and a little more cohesive and not have this kind of awkward little tree farm working there. So yeah. In this video, I was hoping to get up to a couple different things, and we're going to try out a slightly different format for how we do this. So first things first, we need to do some detailing. I know it looks pretty good around the base. I mean, we have like a lot of pathing, and a lot of things are kind of fleshed out pretty comprehensively. We've got the crop fields here, which look great and have pathing. We've got the windmills, which look really good. One of the tasks for today, I think, is going to be putting in a wheat field around the windmills, because I mentioned doing that when I first did the farmlands project and I never did it, and it's kind of a equal parts I forgot, and also I didn't have the seeds or anything to sort of take that on. So that's definitely a project for today. Connecting some paths would be a really great project for today. I definitely want to run a path to the smelting house. I want to run a path all the way out to the logging house, and then I want to run a path to the iron farm, which is over there. So getting those paths laid in would be another great project today. The other project, I've mentioned it in probably the last 3 videos and haven't gotten up to it, and so it's definitely going to happen today, is getting villagers in our little encampment here so we can start building up a population and start working on getting some trades set up. Oh, those did oxidize, and that actually looks really good. I know I was like concerned. I don't know. I kind of like that. Let me know in the comments if you like the contrast of the oxidized copper and the acacia wood. I kind of like it, but I can always change it out and make it just all one texture. But yeah, so we're going to get some villagers in here today to kind of fill out the population and run a path to this area too, so it's not just sort of floating in space. And then the other project that needs to happen is we've got the inn, we've got the smelting house, we've got the mining outpost, and we have the iron farm and the logging house, I think all of which, and every build in here, none of which have interior details. I will say it's definitely a weak point in my building, that I love building structures and making them look pretty, but then I pretty much always leave them just bare bones on the inside. So we're gonna have to do some interior detailing, which I think is gonna be well worth it to kind of make these spaces feel a little bit more lived in and actually part of the, story that we're trying to tell here. So those are kind of the chores or the tasks I want to check off the list first. I do have a build in mind today, so I wanted to get up to that too. So this may, one, be a longer episode, and two, we're going to play with a little different of a format of breaking this up so that way it's not just 2+ hours of me placing stairs so that way they look like chairs, and putting down carpets, and making paintings and laying paths. I know that's not the most exciting thing to watch, and definitely let me know in the comments if that is one of your preferred parts of watching at least me play, is getting all those little details in place. But for me, when I'm making these videos, when I have to do a detailing day, I get a little concerned that it's not like there's a set start or end point, and I feel like it can kind of it can sort of be a little bit of a mishmash day where there's not really anything that we're fully accomplishing besides getting the details down. So definitely let me know if you disagree and if you would prefer to see those videos in real time. But I thought I'm going to sort of cut it up into a little montage that is gathering resources, making the blocks, placing the blocks, and then we can go through everything we did afterwards and you can see the final product. So yeah, with that, I think we're going to fire away on gathering the resources and setting up all the decorative blocks and just, getting a sense of what we're going to do. And obviously, if interesting stuff happens or if I need to cut you guys in for a bigger part of it, I absolutely will, so that way you know what happened. But yeah, we're gonna fire away on that montage, so let's get going on that. Okay, so I just ran around and did a whole bunch of resource gathering and crafting and just sort of messing around, and I managed to fill up this entire chest with pretty much everything I think we might need for detailing. We have barrels, we have signs, we have slabs and stairs and chains and paintings and beds. I also threw in the rails I plan on using for moving the villagers, as well as a minecart and a redstone and some redstone torches to power the powered rails. So I think we might be looking pretty good. The only two things that aren't in here that let me grab them. So there, I also smelted up some clay for some bricks, so that way we could do like pots and the small and the big pots. And then the other things that I kind of considered are the other job blocks, like the smithing tables and the cartography tables, and I think I'm gonna make those as I need them. I think it's gonna be a little too hard to predict how many of each of those I need, and I don't really care to have a bunch of extras of those kicking around. I think it's probably better to make those as needed. So we're gonna put those aside for now and just focus on sort of the main basic stuff, and then we will get the rest of it in place. So let me put these down and I'll bring this stuff back. I also have a ton of supplies for the pathing projects. I smelted, I think I probably have like 6 or 7 stacks of smooth stone. We have a ton of mossy cobble. I'm pretty sure we have a ton of gravel. And then the only thing that we're actually starting to run a little low on, because I used so much of it, is actual cobble. But we have a ton of smooth stone, a ton of mossy cobble, and then a decent amount of gravel, which should hopefully get us there, because gravel is, I think, one of the lesser used blocks in the pathing. So yeah, we're looking pretty good on supplies. I'd say the first project to knock out is the villager moving. That is going to be, I think, the most cumbersome one. So I'm gonna get some iron to throw some iron doors on that structure. That's the sort of the main trading hall house. And then I'm pretty sure villagers can't operate gates, so I'm gonna make some gates to seal in the area so that way they can't get out. And I think then that area will be looking good to fill up with villagers, basically. And I should have made more beds, now that I'm realizing, because most of these beds I was planning on using for the inn. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think I'm gonna want a few more, but yeah, I'm not gonna go crazy about that. That'll be like once I get to the interior detailing. So I'm just gonna focus on getting the villagers over, and then we'll go from there. So actually, and let me grab some buttons. And we'll get these doors on, and we'll start laying down some track for the villagers to get over here. Holy moly, that was a lot of detailing. So we got a lot done, not as much as I was originally planning on, just because I kind of ran out of supplies and I also ran out of steam. You you want to actually want to be detailing and you don't want to have to do it just because you need to. So I'm gonna wait to continue doing some other little bits and bobs around. Let's start off with the smelting house. So I kind of made this a little bit more of a functional space. I put some blast furnaces and furnaces in. We've got some iron piles. We've got a bunch of storage. And we've got our lava buckets or lava cauldrons with an anvil. So it's a little bit more of like a smithing, crafting space. And I hung some chains to kind of give it that industrial sort of feel to it. So that looks great. Down here, we already had like a little barrel pile and everything, and I don't really feel the need to do too much more down here. I think this looks fine. Obviously, you can see I put a path in here. I forgot to put a slabs there, but I'll hit that. I also ran a path here to the back of the villager encampment. Then in the mining outpost, ooh, let me eat really quick. In the mining outpost, we got a little bit of decorations going too. Oop. So just like a little table, a few more furnaces, some more storage, and I did these signs as if it's not obvious enough which one's up and down, but still, I mean, maybe if I ever have somebody in this world that doesn't know right off the bat, they can see. And then I just threw some storage in up here, just something, and some leaves to kind of make it look sort of overgrown. So I think that looks great. So that's the mining outpost all complete. I didn't do anything in the village area besides get the villagers in there. I just laid down some beds and got some villagers in here. As you can see, we have a booming population of villagers, which is great. We have a bunch of iron golems already, which is hopefully doesn't become a problem. I remember one time having a village in an online world where I ended up with so many iron golems, they would like cram themselves to death. There were so many, but look at all these villagers. We don't have to worry about it anymore. It's great. I ended up running a minecart rail all the way from that village way over there to here and bringing over just two. And this is already, I mean, I've only been recording for maybe like 3 hours, and this is already the population that's grown just from throwing them a bunch of carrots and potatoes and getting them going. So that's awesome. Then we've got the inn, which is pretty basic. I didn't go too overboard with the decorations, and I do think some more could be done in here, like maybe some carpet, or I'm not even sure. I tried hanging paintings, and like the way these trap doors are working and the way the lanterns are working, nothing really fit very well. So I kind of didn't do that. I put some item frames there because I think eventually I'll throw in like kind of like a menu, like a steak, a water bottle, and like something else. But we have our bar, and we've got a bunch of little booths for, our travelers to sit in and have their meal in. In here, we did our suite, and again, really simple, just like a desk, a little couch, and some more storage. Put like a little planter there. Looks good. Hung some paintings in here because I could get them up, and those look good. And right here we got the cowboy. Love that painting. Then in here, just really simple. Again, this is sort of the bunk area. This is like if you're really trying to cheap out on a room and you just need a place to sleep for a night, this is what you would rent. You would just get a bed, not even like your own room. And so we've got 4 bunks here and a little table, crafting table, shelf, and everything. I think that looks good. And this is our like mini suite. Again, it's super small. I couldn't really do much in here. But we've got our bed, a little storage, a crafting table, and a chair. Feels good in there. Definitely could go a little bit more into the interior detailing. Doing this made me realize that this is definitely one of my weaker areas in terms of building. I'm not super skilled at, thinking up interior details and what that should look like. So if anybody has any advice, I mean, definitely comment down below if there's like a YouTuber you watch who's really good at it, or if you have your own builds that you think would be inspiration for me. I'm pretty happy with what I did, but it's not at the level, it's not at the same level, I'd say, as the exterior of the builds. I think I do a really good job building the actual structures, but decorating them on the insides is definitely a weak point of mine. And then we ran a path all the way from the inn over to here, the logging house. I had literally like the exact right amount of cobblestone to do this. I'm pretty much out of cobblestone, but I was able to get the path all the way over here. And we did do the inside of the logging house as well. I just threw some stuff on this front porch. And then in here, we've got like a little entry table, little smelting area, some more like entry table, planter, little table to sit at, storage. And then upstairs, we've just got like a nice little bedroom, a few planters. Those are hung from chains. You can't really see it, which is sort of, I don't know. You might be able to see it better. Oh yeah, I'm looking at OBS. You could definitely see it better in the recording. I can barely see those chains though. I really gotta mess with these shader settings because sometimes the amount that I can see versus what I can see in the video is hysterical. But yeah, so we got the interior of this all decorated, which looks great. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much everything I did in that little montage there. It was definitely quite a bit to do. I mean, I recorded that montage over the course of, and I know this is going to sound surprising because it was only like a few minutes long, but I recorded that over the course of like 3 days, and granted, I only get maybe 2 hours a day to play, but still, I that was a labor of love for sure. And I do think it was well worth it, even just to have like the inn more fleshed out and the smelting house, and to have a little bit more pathing going around. The way this place is starting to look with the pathing is awesome. I'm so pleased with it. Definitely the next branch I think is going to come off of here and go along this and connect to this, and then probably another branch going this way to connect here. And then obviously, I think I said I'd do it, but I ran out of cobblestone, connecting a branch all the way out here to the iron farm, which another thing that I realized, I went in there quickly while I was doing my my detailing. I lost a villager. I don't know how, but there's only 2 villagers in there, so I need to get another villager in there. Maybe that's why it hasn't been working, because I'm missing a villager. I'm not sure, but yeah, that was the sort of detailing montage, and I feel pretty good about it. I definitely think before we start our build, I'm gonna have to go mine up some stone, because like I said, we have 12 cobblestone. We might have a little bit more in here somewhere. Yeah, all right. So we have like a stack and some. So we did have more to work with for the pathing, but yeah, I definitely need to get some more cobblestone. I think otherwise we got plenty of oak. We still have plenty of spruce. I was actually thinking about doing some of this build today out of birch, so happy about all that. I don't think I'm going to use any crimson stem or acacia. We've got enough dark oak that if I want to incorporate it in, I don't think I'm going to. I feel like I've been going a little heavy with the dark oak lately, and so I'd love to keep this build dark oak free, so I'm not gonna even grab any of that for the build. So I think the only thing we really need is cobblestone. We've got a decent amount of stone variants. And yeah, I think that's all we're gonna need. So I'm gonna go mine up some cobblestone and just get that knocked off the list. And we will start talking about what we're gonna do for the build today. So I came back to the cave to do a little bit of digging, and I started mining out a 16 by 16 square. I hope it's 16 by 16. I did double count it, but God knows. And my intention for this, I think I can do it out of a 16 by 16 square, is a mob farm down the road. So that's what I'm gonna start doing my quarrying in, is specifically this hole, so that way I can mine this all the way down and then turn it into like a multi-tiered mob farm. That would be so cool to be able to have. And let me tell you, this pickaxe is something else. I've been jumping back and forth between this world and my chill commentary long plays, and those are great, but the farthest I've been able to push it gear wise on those is iron tools. And so to have this enchanted diamond pickaxe which just tears through stone is so amazing. I used to quarry out spaces like that with only stone tools, and oh my god, I used to have to make an entire inventory's worth of stone pickaxes to get what I just got done, and it would take twice the amount of time, and it just dragged on. It was horrible. I don't know why for the longest time I was so averse to getting diamond tools and enchanting them. This is one of the first worlds where I've ever really invested in good tools, and I am enjoying the the convenience of them. It is just amazing. So obviously I grabbed a ton of stone, which is really great. Feel so good about that. I grabbed some copper. I got 4 emeralds too. I don't know what it is about that cave or just this world. Somebody tell me in the comments if emeralds spawn more commonly now, because I feel like I find emeralds all the time. It is absurd. And so I've got 31 emeralds now. I should go get another mending book, right? Right? I guess I don't need to. I'm not going to mess with that right now. Although I do have 39 levels and a ton of diamonds. Maybe we should take a second and finally upgrade myself from iron armor. I think that might be worth doing really quick. I have been rocking iron armor and it's great, but I definitely think some diamond armor would be worth the investment. And I have 55 diamonds, so it's not even really going to take too big of a chunk out of my diamond supply. I'll still have plenty to be able to do. I mean, right now I've got a set of tools, and now I'll have a set of armor. And, progressively I'll be able to put mending on all these things. So I don't know how many more diamonds we're going to need to use, but it's always good to have them. So let's do some quick enchanting. I think I've got lapis in the enchanting house, so let's go over there. God, it's been a minute since we've been over there. If you haven't watched this series, definitely go back and watch this build, the enchanting tower. It was one of my favorite builds that we've done. Something about it, it's a little different than everything else, and maybe I need to like lean into that. Like, I love the dark or the deep slate trim and the warped wood, or is that warped wood? No, crimson stem. I think that looks so good. And then I did diorite on not diorite. Yeah, diorite on top. And I think it all plays together so nicely. Not to like toot my own horn, but I feel like some people join into these episodes and they haven't seen the whole series, and this episode is one worth watching for sure. I will say, going back, I don't rewatch my videos very often, but going back and rewatching it, this episode though is the one where I switched from my old recording software to OBS, and so the audio got kind of messed up, but it's well worth this, pushing through the audio stuff to get to the final product that is this build. All right, so let's see what we get on our chest piece. I don't really like thorns. I'm not a fan. All right, what if we do, if we roll another enchantment, will it re-roll that enchantment? Okay, Unbreaking 3, that's good. And Protection 3, perfect, that's great. I'm good with that. Now, will this be different? Oh, okay, yeah, Unbreaking 3, Fire Protection. I mean, I'm not going to say no. I think that's all right, Protection 3 and Unbreaking 3, that's great. Let's see. Aqua affinity. No. Not really what I was looking for. I'm okay with the helmet not being enchanted. All right, let's see. Come on. Feather falling. Depth Strider? Okay. And Unbreaking. Huh. I mean, again, I'm not going to say no to that. That's pretty awesome, actually. Do I have enough for... Yeah, I have enough for this guy. Let's see. Is he any better? Do I waste the levels? Do I use it? I mean, I might as well. Might get something else. Ah, nope. All right. Well, I'm okay with those enchantments. I would have loved protection on all three, but that can be rolled for with a villager trade. I mean, all those enchantments can be rolled for with the villager trades, but whoa, it's nighttime. Not gonna mess with that. All right, we'll sleep. But I can get protection, not pretty easily, but now that we've got our villager supply set up, I could get like a protection villager and just bang out 4 of those for the armor. And then we've got mending on deck that we could grab. I do think the next thing worth doing, I mean, I've had this sword for a while, and granted, I don't fight a lot of stuff, but definitely mending on this sword would be a good call. And then, so we need, how many mending books? We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mending books. And I think my mending trade is like 24 emeralds. So that's 24 times 5. That's like 100 and something emeralds. So it's probably going to be a little bit before we get there. Here, let's put down these emeralds so we don't, end up losing them somewhere. Nope. There we go. Okay. So, for today's build, I was kind of thinking something that would be fun to get into would be beekeeping. I have around the base, over there, over by the zombie spawner. I think there's even one in the farmlands. I have beehives everywhere, and I think it's finally time we build a proper home for all these bees and set them up. So we just need to think about where we want to put it, because I kind of have a plan for this hill area. I'm not sure. I mean, we could put it here and it would look kind of cute. There was just something, and I'm hesitant to say what, because I kind of wanted to do it like live, like in a video, so that way you guys could like see what I'm talking about. And this isn't the worst spot, but it's also not like the best spot, because I mean, it's not terribly flat, and that was going to lend itself to the build I was thinking about for here. So I don't think this area, despite how much I want to fill this in, I don't think that's a good spot for the I think it's called an apiary, like a bee house of some kind. So I was kind of thinking maybe up here might be a good spot. I don't like how close it is to the snow. That doesn't really make sense with like bees. You wouldn't really have bees in like a snowy area. So maybe that's not the best spot either. We could like tuck it in right here. Whoa, I keep hitting the ground. We could tuck it in like right over here and kind of start filling out this area a little bit more. Kind of story-wise, though, like thinking about this area as like a village type thing that we're building up, I don't know how much sense that makes for it to be next to the inn. The more I think about it, the more I think it should be over here in the farmlands, because it's like it's an apiary, like bees are gonna live there, so maybe even right here. It's not gonna be huge. That could work. Let me just think about how I'm gonna do this. So the path is gonna come this way, and then logically it should go this way to kind of keep with the terrain. But then once it hits like this level, it really doesn't matter if it goes that way or if it goes like up this, especially if I fill this in and kind of flatten this area out a little bit more. So right there could be good. I'm hesitant to do it there though, just because like the farmlands is so built out. Like we've got the iron farm over here, we've got the windmills, we've got the sugarcane house, and then we've got like the whole farmlands area. So I'm like like a little hesitant to throw another build in this spot right now. Not that I don't want to like continue to build this up and have this like really full. And I guess it is kind of like evenly spaced. Like if I put it here, the only thing it's really close to is the sugarcane house, you know, and then it's sort of evenly spaced between those two. So that is a good option. We'll keep that in mind. I'm also wondering if maybe because it's sort of, I mean, it's not like magical, but it's kind of whimsical having like an apiary. I'm almost wondering if setting it into the woods would be worth it too. Like, let's take a look over here in the woods and see what we're looking at. I mean, it's going to be hard to free cam this and get a good sense of the terrain. I'm no longer using these woods as my tree farm, so I'm okay with like knocking down some of it. I know I just said free camming isn't gonna help, but I just want to get like a look around. I mean, we could like tuck it in like right here. Like that could be kind of cute. And it sort of draws the rest of this back a little bit more. I mean, the real logical place for it is right here. But again, I have something in mind for this hill, so I'm not sure that I want to throw something right there. Although, I mean, it could work there, actually. Because the only thing about that is that's sort of where I wanted the path to run through. So we'd have to, like, do some terraforming around here. Gosh, it's always the hardest part of a build. Building it's like easy, but finding the good spot, like a good spot for it is always a tricky game. I'm gonna make the executive call. It's going over there. As much as I wanted in the cherry biome, I think it's gonna make a little bit more sense, and it's gonna be easier to put together over there, and it pushes the builds that way more. Not that I don't want to also go in this direction, because I mean we have the zombie spawner and the iron farm over there, but we have not as much going on this way, so I think over there is the way to do it. So let's take stock of our supplies. And holy crap, I need more food too. I didn't realize how low I was on steak. Let's see, how many cows we working with here? Do I need to do some cow breeding? I think I've got some reserve steak somewhere. Let's check it out. Ooh, it doesn't look like there's a lot. Oh, there are not a lot. Okay. I think every time I've cooked up some steak, I've ended up with a little extra, and I keep tucking it away. So let me make sure I don't have some hiding away. Let's just breed all these guys up so that way we're all good. Okay. Got a whole new generation of cows going. Throw down that wheat, and then let's check out over here. I could have sworn I had some steak. Oh yeah, this is my absolute mess of interior detailing blocks. I could have sworn I had some steaks. Maybe I ate them all? Did I really eat all my steaks? Wow. Alright, well I guess we're gonna... Let's harvest some potatoes, because I think baked potatoes give you pretty good saturation. So let's harvest some potatoes and cook those up, and we'll use those until the cows are at a good level. So we got a ton of potatoes. So let's cook those up. That way we can have some for this build, and then we'll have like a reserve supply of food just in case we ever run out of steaks again, because I seem to really struggle with, I always was like a bread guy before I realized how good steaks is for saturation, and so I never really got into the habit of like consistently tending to farm animals, and I don't know. I struggle with it. It's definitely something I should do. Like maybe one thing I can start doing is at the beginning of each video, just do like a montage for chores, like run around and, feed the cows and gather the wheat and just do all the little kind of odds and ends that need to happen, but aren't super entertaining. And I could just make it like a really quick, just one off, just running around and doing it. Let's grab these buckets and let's throw those in there. And we'll let those cook up. Hopefully that last, oops, I have one left. Hopefully that last steak lasts me as long as I need it to. And then let's start thinking about a palette for this build. One thing I did realize in my last commentary long play video, I decided to combine acacia, which I don't have a lot of, and birch. And they ended up looking so good together. It was so surprising, but I thought it came out so nice. And I'm wondering if I should do something similar for this build. Here we go. Potatoes, rotten potatoes. Where do rotten potatoes go? I don't know. Or poisonous potatoes. But we could do that. We do have some acacia trees that we could go quickly cut down. Definitely want to throw some spruce in there. I think that'll look good. How are we looking on deep slate? All right, so we're looking pretty good on deep slate. I think that's more than enough for the build. So let's do some palette looking at. That was a super technical term. Birchwood and some. Do I not just have like spruce planks? Here we go. And let's convert you into planks. Birch, acacia, deep slate, and spruce. Do we need 3 wood types? I think that might be too many, honestly. And I think the one throwing it off for me is the acacia. As much as I think that would be fun to build with and sort of be reminiscent of the palette in that video that I did, and definitely go and watch that video because I'm so pleased with how that came out. That seems a little bit more cohesive to me. And then we can throw in like our typical like cobblestone. And do I have any smooth stone? Ooh. All right, so we got to smelt up some smooth stone too. But like definitely throw in some cobblestone and mossy cobble, and I think that's a pretty good palette, honestly. It's nice and simple, not overstated, and I don't want to like overcomplicate it. So let's put down the acacia wood. And we can put down the spruce planks and just grab a bunch of logs. And then grab a whole bunch of birch. And some cobble. Some mossy cobble. Probably don't need that much. And why don't we throw in our classic, a little bit of andesite. Is that everything we need? Do we need anything else? I mean, one thing I'm curious about What happens if I put... Can I put netherrack in a stone cutter? You can't. How do you get nether bricks? Because nether bricks or whatever, I really love the look of those too. And I thought you made them out of netherrack, but I guess you don't. Because I have a bunch of that, and I could definitely play with that. I mean, we could incorporate... We do have some cherry. Because cherry and... That is great. And then what if we just did stripped oak or stripped spruce planks? I think there we go. I think that's a palette I can get on board with for sure. So, okay, I'm feeling good about that. We might not have enough cherry. I do think it's probably going to be more of an accent block. So hopefully this will get us there. We got plenty of spruce, oak, spruce, birch is what I was trying to say. Let's grab the deep slate. And where is my extra stone cutter? I know I had more than one. It's not in there. Holy moly, I didn't realize how much stuff I have in here. Oh, there it is. Oh, we definitely have plenty of... I didn't realize I had this much cobblestone left and mossy cobble, and there's more spruce in here, which is great. Let's go over to the spot and set up our area. Let's take a look at what we're working with here. Yeah, I think this is the move up here. I think this is... Like, if I terraform this layer out a little bit and build it like this way, I think it'll be good. And the shape that I have in mind, I think will lend itself to being like on the hill, like looking up at it. So I think we're good. I like what we're working with here. Let's see. Yeah, we've got a little space right here. Let's throw down our chests and our stone cutter. Put down the deep slate, the mossy cobble, the cobble, andesite, the birch, the spruce, cherry, and okay. So let's go grab a crafting table and one more chest, just because I've realized when I'm doing these builds, it's good to have two chests, one for like the blocks and one for like kind of the odds and ends, and a crafting table. I think I just said that, but let's grab a crafting table too. All right, so we got our second chest. I actually had chests on me. I didn't even realize. Oh, I got to put those buckets down. Well, we're just going to put them in here for now. I grabbed all the baked potatoes, too, just so that way I'm good on food and some scaffolding. I should have grabbed some dirt, too, but we're going to see how far what we've got gets us. So let me remember what I was talking about. So I was thinking about pushing... Well, we can either push this layer out, or we can... Actually, I think the better idea, and I'm not just saying this because I forgot to get dirt and I don't want to go back, is to trim this and this layer off. And then we'll have a big, wide, flat open area. So I'm going to get that going. Okay, all right. This is looking like plenty of room. There's going to be... Ooh, nope, that's not acceptable. Did anybody else find that unacceptable? this weird little thing right there. Okay. And then there's a hole right here I gotta fill in. Okay. No, so there's gonna be like a main structure and then like a little bit of like a side structure. And I think this is enough room for both of them. So I think we're good to go space-wise. And so we can just kind of start firing away on building this, which is super exciting because I feel like I haven't actually built something in this world in a little bit. So, all right, we got our scaffolding. We can put down that extra dirt too. And then, why are these torches not stacked? That's weird. All right, so do we want to use barrels? Maybe? Or do we want to do pressure? Okay, that was weird. I don't know why I thought the cherry. Yeah, I think actually, okay, so I think we're gonna do regular beams, no barrels underneath. And then we're gonna use trapdoors to kind of cap them off. Probably something like that there. How does that look position-wise? Yeah, I could push it back. It could go like here. Yeah, I think that's better. And then this front structure isn't going to be too big. I'm thinking like 5. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I don't want it much bigger than that. Perfect. Okay. Now let's get the rest of these beams up. So this side, how do I want this? Do I want this to go? Yeah. I think this side's going to be slightly taller than this side. So I think I'm going to go up like maybe 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that too tall? No. We may end up having to shave this back a little bit more if this structure ends up having to be a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. I think that's okay. I think we're going to live with 6. Cool stuff. Love it. And then there's going to be kind of like a walkway here. And I don't think it's going to be very big. Thinking like 1, 2, 3, 4 is probably good. And then 1 there. Yeah, I think that's a good distance. And then this is going to be a round structure. So circles sometimes confuse me. Sometimes it helps to get like a guide block. So let me grab some dirt and kind of map it out with the dirt. So that's 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And then beam 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, that's wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, perfect. And then 2, 3. All right, so we will have to shave this layer back a little bit further. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 4, 5. Perfect. And this corner is the same as that corner. One, two, three, 4, 5. Perfect. Awesome. Yes. And I think proportionally to the size of this, that's just about right. If it was any bigger, it would look. If it was any smaller, it would look really wonky. And if it was any bigger, I think it would just dwarf this. And the idea is that this is going to be bigger, but it's not going to be so big that this like doesn't have an impact. So I think we're looking good on that. So now let's get these in place all the way. And I do think I want these. I think I'm going to go 6 up with these two, so that way it's in line with the top of this. Okay. All right. So we got our beams in place. There's not going to be. This is going to have like a slightly higher. I mean, I'll just say it now. There's going to be a dome. I'm going to put a dome on top of this. That's why it's round, because I think round. I mean, I don't know if you can do a dome if it's not round. I don't know. Comment down below if you can do a non-round dome. I don't think that's possible, but I'd love to hear your opinions on it. But yeah, so this is gonna have a dome. This is gonna have a slanted roof. I think there's just gonna be kind of a traditional roof in between these two structures. So now I gotta think, what am I gonna do this foundation out of? I mean, I definitely want to do this structure out of the stone, andesite, mossy cobble combination, but I'm almost wondering if the base of both of these structures should be deep slate. I feel like that would look good, kind of in contrast with the birch and the a cherry. I think that would look pretty good. So why don't I start with that and see how that looks, and then obviously because it's just going to be the foundation, it'll be really easy to change out if that doesn't look good. Okay. All right. So this is coming together for sure. I mean, deep slate and spruce are like a match made in heaven. It's just perfect. When we start adding in the other elements, we're going to start to see if they're going to work together, but I think this is a good start. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. I I don't know. Do I put door on this side or do I put door on this side? Oh, not that. This side. I'm kind of partial to putting it over here actually and off-centering it, like throwing it right here. I think that'll look good. And then there's going to be a wall here and a wall here and a door, so that way like there's sort of like, I guess you could almost call it like an airlock or some sort of like buffer chamber between the entrance of the apiary and the actual apiary chamber, and then this is going to be where the bees live. So yeah, we'll get all those pieces in place, but yeah, I guess we can just start throwing up some walls, right? We might as well. All right, so we got the walls for the smaller structure in place. I'm definitely just right off the bat going to punch out a window right here. And then one right here. And 2 here. I think that horse keeps terrifying me. I keep thinking it's some kind of person, like a very short Enderman or something. You are scary. No. So we're good there. I think. So this is going to be tricky. I think the rest of the structure, I'm not sure if I want to do the rest of the structure out of the cherry and birch combination. I know I wanted to do this out of stone. I'm thinking this should be wood to kind of contrast it. And then I'm not sure how to handle this. I don't know if I just do certain parts of it as stone and certain parts of it as wood. You know, we could do like the corners out of stone and then the center faces as wood. I kind of like that idea. Why don't we give that a try? Let's fill this in first and then let's give that a try and we'll see if that looks good. Oh, we are hungry. Let's eat our last steak. And then how much does a baked potato saturate you? Oh, okay. It's pretty good. I'm realizing now that because I did this 4 wide, it's going to be tricky to get like a good window in here. I mean, we could do like a 2x2. Whoa, did not mean to do that. Like, I don't know though. That feels like a lot of window for such a small space. I wonder if we can just like not have a window in there. Let's see. What we could do, which would be kind of cool, is we could like run some overhangs, like have the roof go over it like a normal roof, and then have like an overhang come off of it and turn this into a little storage area. That could look kind of cool and fill in the space and not have such like a blank wall. I think that's actually not a bad idea. I'm kind of into that. All right, let's fill in these corners. All right, how are we looking? This looks pretty good from the inside at the very least. Let's see. What are we looking at? All right, all right. Yeah, I'm into this for sure. I think we need to do birch on the inside here, and that will tie in what's going on here. So let me grab some birch, and we can get going on that. All right. Let's see here. Let's see here. I mean, this is looking pretty cool. There's definitely like a bunch of detailing that can happen. Like I'm thinking running maybe cherry trapdoors along these center beams or these like center corner parts will kind of bring in a little bit more of the cherry. I'm also like grappling with what to do for the roof. I'm almost wondering if we scrap the idea of doing a spruce trim roof and we do a cherry trim roof. I wonder if that would look kind of interesting. Still with deep slate in it. I mean, it's black and pink works surprisingly well with each other. I know. I mean, definitely let me know in the comments if you disagree, but I feel like those go kind of nicely, and I almost wonder if tiles would look even better with it because it's more of a saturated color. I'm actually kind of partial to the saturation. I think the saturation of cobbled and bricks goes better with the cherry. So I think we're good there. But yeah, if we do a cherry trim roof, I think that'll look kind of interesting. So why don't we make some cherry odds and ends here? How much cherry wood do I have? Not a whole lot. I'm not going to use any logs, so Let's just convert those right off the bat. Let's put down the birch so that way we don't get confused. Get like a stack of stairs and a stack of slabs. And let's see how far that gets us. For this I was just thinking like a slanted kind of sideways roof. So I don't know if I did the blocks on here right for that, because it's going to be slab, 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 sleep. And slab. So we are going to have to kind of mess with this roof line a little bit. I hope this lines up. This is not going to line up. Huh. Unless we do some funky business here. I'm almost wondering too if we should double up. That looks a little bit better. It probably should extend one more too, so it kind of overhangs this roof, because this roof isn't going to go very high because it's only like 3-ish blocks across. But I think that looks a lot better. I don't know though. Like, I've never really built with cherry before, so this is like a whole new world for me. I don't know how I'm feeling about the combination of cherry and stone. We built this one more. Oh, that's too much. That's definitely too much. What if I did this on the on my first commentary long play? What if we do that? Interesting. Wow, I did not expect this to be the hard part. I was for sure thinking the dome was going to be the hard part, and we haven't gotten there yet, so God knows. So I'm looking at this, and I'm realizing now that I think I'm doing it backwards, or at least the trim I'm doing backwards. I don't think I should do cherry wood for the trim. I think I should do cherry wood for the roof itself, and then on the trim I should be doing deep slate. So I'm gonna change that out really quick, and we'll get that sorted. Okay, that does look better. I definitely think it's going to help when I fill that in with some stone, so that way it's not this awkward hole. I'm also wondering if it's worth, like, chucking in, like, some smaller structure coming up off of this one. Nothing huge, but just, like, maybe a little kind of dormer thing. But why don't we work on getting the rest of this together? So, all right, so we've got... Oh, wait, did I do this right? Yes, okay. So we've got this this side structure, and then we've got the main structure, and I definitely wanted to work in some cherry along these beams. I'm realizing now I wish I hadn't converted all the cherry wood. I guess I could go chop down some more cherry trees, just because a cherry wood beam right here and a cherry wood beam here, like on all these corners, would look really good, I think. So why don't I just quickly go grab some cherry logs, and then I'll be able to actually incorporate a little bit more of the cherry wood into it. All right, so we got our cherry logs. Let's knock these out. Throw down some scaffolding. Ooh, funky. I like it. And then we could throw some spruce trapdoors in the bottom to sort of cap those off. I think that would look really nice. So we're looking good. We're looking good. Ooh, it's such an interesting color palette. It kind of reminds me of those ice cream packs. I think they're called like Neapolitan ice cream packs, where you've got like the cherry, the chocolate, and vanilla. And it looks kind of like that. It's really fun though. I think it's cool. I really have never pushed myself to build with cherry before, and I'm liking what I'm getting here. I'm almost wondering, so I know I said that this was just going to be like a little structure, but I'm almost wondering if this should actually be super tall, or not like crazy tall, but it's a 5 by 5, right? It's no, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So I'm wondering if I should bring that up and turn it into like kind of a tower. So it's going to end up being like, this is going to be the shortest, then the dome is going to make this higher than that, and then this is going to be the tallest. So I like that idea. I think I'm going to play with that. I think the next step, though, is probably getting the dome in place, so that way we know how tall to make this to make it like proportional to the rest of this. So I'm gonna get working on the dome, which means I'm gonna need a little bit of deep slate and some cherry odds and ends. Nope, I don't want you in there. How does that look? Okay, cool. We're definitely gonna add a little more shape to that trim. It's a little flat right now, and I think adding in some like additional slabs in certain areas to kind of bring it down and give it a little bit more variation will serve us well. But this is looking good so far. Let's start getting the dome shape in place. So this always confuses me. I never know the right way to do this. I know. Okay, so if we're gonna do a dome, and it's it's gonna be essentially half of this shape, right? Because if this is a circle, then we want to cut this in half, and that's sort of the silhouette of the dome that we want to create. And I'm okay with this not being like a perfect sphere, but I want it to be rounder in shape. So if we're doing that, then we're gonna go, what is it, 3 up? So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3. Well, here, let's do 3 and then a stair, and then upside down stair, and then, so it's 3, 1, 2, 3, and then it's 2, so 1, and then stair, and then upside down stair, and then upside down stair. And then up and then stair again. And then that, right? Am I crazy? So that's like 3, 2. Then that's our one corner. And now we need to go 1 out and then 3 out, I think. I think that'll do it. So 1 out. I think that's right. Nope. Where does that land me? Where am I? Am I in, like, middle point? I kind of am. I think I am on the middle point, actually. How does that look shape-wise? Okay, it's not perfect. And I think I know what I'm doing wrong. Okay, so I'm going to undo this. I think I'm trying to overcomplicate it by adding in stairs. And I think I do domes like these, not terribly often, but definitely enough that I should know how to do this. But but what I'm realizing now is I'm definitely overcomplicating it by adding in the stairs, and I can have stairs in the curves, but I need to get a sense of the shape first before I start putting in stairs, because stairs are not like, they mess with my head in terms of, is it like a full block? Is it a half block? Is it just like the corner and it doesn't count as a block? So we're not going to mess with putting in stairs right now. Here, I'm just going to run this across so that way I can get over there. So, okay, so we're doing this. It's got to be... Actually, doesn't this only need to be 2? Yeah, this only needs to be 2. So this is 1, 2. And then we're going out and over 1. And then we're doing another 2. Going out 1. And then we're going up 1. And we're going, that was my single block. Yeah, right? Okay, so 1, 2. And then we're going out another 2. Does this line up? I think this does, actually. Yeah. Yeah. I think I lined that up. So that feels much more... I know it's much blockier because it's only the full blocks. And we'll throw in, like, I think instead of even getting rid of these blocks, we'll just throw in stairs, like, here and here on all these corners. So that way it feels a little bit more smooth. But that feels so much better. And then... let's just copy this all around. I'm realizing now too, I never turned on the replay mod, so this whole episode's probably been and is going to be more of a montage and less of a time lapse. That's the word I'm thinking of. So I apologize about that, but I just never turned it on, and at this point, I all of a sudden having replay footage will just, I think, throw it off. So whoops. Let's get back up there and let's add in the rest of these. All right, and we've got a dome. I mean, look at that. That looks pretty funky. I like it. Yeah. It definitely is very bright, having it made out of the cherry wood, but I think that's nice. And I do think the more I see this dome in shape, the more I'm like, we do need to do something with this that brings it higher than this. Otherwise, it's gonna feel a little bit awkward. So yeah, I'm feeling good about that. Let's let's get some stairs in place. Let me see. Let me look at this one more time. Yeah, if we get some stairs on all these steps going up and on the undersides, I think it'll feel a little bit more like rounded. Not that it really needs that, and I'm also like not 100% sold. I gotta fill that in. Or should I? I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on this being a full block up here. I was thinking maybe slabs around here. I think that could be the way to go. So we'll plug away at doing that. Again with these curves here. Okay. It's so funny. I almost don't like it as much. I know it looks like really chunky. I almost wonder if I should take them out. I'm like not sold on them. I don't know why, but every time I try to like make things curved with stairs, it just I don't know, it doesn't whoop, that's not what I wanted. It doesn't have the look that I want. Yeah, I think I'm going to take them out. I think that's the solution. So, sorry about that. You know, we live and we learn. We do something and we try it and it doesn't work and that's okay. Yeah, that's so much better. I don't know why. The stairs were really throwing it off. That feels so much more weirdly without the stairs. It feels so much more like spherical. So I think that's okay. I'm almost wondering too if I should change out. I know I just turned that all into slabs up there, but if I should change that back out to full blocks. Oh, god darn it. I think it will I think it's just going to give it the height it needs to really cap off like the dome shape. Otherwise it just gets like flat here. Or maybe even like, what if I just do this? Like even just that. How does that look? Yeah, like that looks a lot better. I think it could be, yeah, I think it's just those middle 3 blocks on each side will sort of make it feel the right shape. So let's just get rid of these. I think we might be good to go. Yeah. Yep. I mean, comment down below if you don't think that looks like a dome shape to me. I mean, obviously it's not filled in with the glass that needs to go in there, but to me that feels very dome shaped and I'm quite pleased with it. I think that doesn't need any more editing or anything. I'm not going to continue to mess with it. I'm good with how it is. And luckily, I did proactively throw a bunch of glass into my furnace spank. So that way we will have some glass to do this with. I was almost thinking the white stained glass would look good. I think that would kind of lend itself to the colors of the birch and the cherry and everything. So let me grab that, stain that up, and we can start filling in the dome. Pretty cool looking from down here. It almost looks like a kind of observatory. I think it's going to look really cool when I stick like a tower in the middle there. I think that's really going to make it. So I'm really pleased with how this is coming out. Before I go too much further, how does that look? I mean, it's kind of hard to see. I think that's good though. I feel pretty good about that shape. I sort of wanted it on the corners set in a little bit, and then on these sides, it's going to be sort of flush with the supports. So let me do that so I can show you what I mean. So something like that, where it's like set in between, and then on these sides it's kind of tucked in a little bit. I mean, we could bring it out on the corners. I don't know though. I mean, we could also set it in farther in on the. It also lines up better with the edge on the inside, so that's why I did it like that on the inside. I think we're gonna do it. I think I'm gonna full send and just do it like this. And worst comes to worst, we do have the silk touch shovel, so we can always break it and redo it if we need to. All right. Hey, yeah, that looks great. Nope, I'm totally fine with that. I think, I'm not even fine with it. I'm happy with it. I think it looks really good. Domes just in Minecraft are in general kind of a tricky deal, and I feel like, for only having to edit it a few times, it came out pretty good. So, quite pleased with that. I think we can knock down some of this scaffolding now. I'm gonna leave that one up here just so that way we can get back up there if we need to. But yeah, all right. So dome is complete. It looks pretty good in here too. Definitely a totally, acceptable bee sanctuary area. I love it. Let's fill in, or let's start building up this actually. And you know what I just realized is I probably shouldn't have put glass there, because this is gonna be the wall of this side of the tower, so I can at least knock these out. And yeah, that's gonna have to go up, so we're gonna have to edit that a little bit. Let me grab some more spruce and we'll bring that tower up a little bit. Okay, perfect. Yes, that's a good height. Yeah, especially because I am going to put like a top on it, so it's going to have like a little bit more, shape to it. I think we're good. Now we got to fill in the walls, so let's get that taken care of. All right, it's looking like a tower. It's looking good. Yeah, I think the next step is to fill in this roof, because that'll feel better, and then throw on a top to this tower. And we might be starting to look good at like the overall structure of this build. All right, so we got a roof on this guy. That's feeling nice and set. So now we just got to think about like, what does the top of this tower look like? It's gonna be a little funky because it's a weird shape, and I am 100% at this point regretting doing an odd shape or an even shape for the for this bit. It it'll be fine. We'll figure it out, but and it doesn't look bad, from afar, but detailing and windows and stuff, it's just going to be kind of a nightmare. So we're going to have to play with a bunch of different stuff to make it work. I think my idea is to keep it flush with these sides and then have it bump out on this side a little bit, so that way it won't be even. It'll still be slightly uneven, because this is 5, right? Yeah, 1 2 3 4 5, and this is 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yeah, so if we bump it out on these sides by 1 each, it'll be 7 by 6, which granted, proportionally or whatever will be about the same. But oh god, oh my god, really? Hey guys, how you doing? Yeah, looking to die, because I got you all sorted for that. Let's see, and the last one. All right. Well, that was our first visit from them this episode, so probably gonna see them one more time before we close this episode out. But another crossbow, which is kind of cool. Although, like, whoever uses a crossbow, I don't know. Comment down below if you use crossbows. They don't do it for me, but if you're like a crossbow user, definitely let me know. All right, so Let's get these supports in place. I think it's gonna be spruce for the supports, and then a deep slate trim and a cherry. Sorry, I forgot the word. And a cherry roof. But then for the actual tower structure itself, I don't know. My brain was thinking cherry, but if we're gonna do the roof out of cherry too, or ooh, okay, I have an interesting idea. So instead of a cherry roof, I'm thinking a moss and leaf roof. So I know that's like yet another color in this palette, but I think that could look really cool. So I'm gonna try that out. Let's get the actual tower structure in place though. Yeah, no, that's okay. I mean, it's not ideal. I don't love it, but it works. You know, it does the trick. Yeah, that's okay. I am almost wondering if I should bump it out on this side too, though. Just to make it look like more like a traditional like tower top, where the top is like overall bigger than the base. I probably should. God, I am really freehanding this one with you guys today. I had, you know, there was like a rough plan in place, but things have gone kind of all over the place in terms of what I was planning. Okay, we've got a proper base on the top of the tower, I guess you could say. A base on the top. And yeah, we just got to build it up now. So definitely thinking spruce planks and cherry wood for the tower top, and then the roof, like I said, was going to be like moss and leaves. Which I think I'm going to have to go generate some more moss, or we might need to go on a little adventure to the lush cave in the old growth taiga. That's sort of far off, but it might be worth doing to grab some more moss. Hey, that's pretty funky. Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's going to look a lot better with some windows punched out of it, but I think it's starting to look really good. I think all the pink and all the cherry, the birch, and the spruce are all playing off of each other really nicely with like the little hints of deep slate and stone. I think it's all coming together really great. I do need a little more cherry, and I do need to go grab the moss and leaves for the roof. So that's going to have to happen. So yeah, let me do a little bit of gathering of stuff and we'll jump right back into it. Okay, so I grabbed some more cherry wood. I don't think I need a lot. I think 44 logs is more than enough to finish up the top of the tower. And then I think that does it for cherry wood that I plan on using for this build besides accents. Don't think that's going to be too many. And then the other thing was I wanted to do the moss and leaf roof, and I have exactly 12 blocks of moss to my name, which I could go and, you know, do some moss farming and grow it and dig it out and grow it and dig it out. I don't know how effective, like, if I really want to do that. I kind of feel like I want to do the trip to the old growth taiga to check out that lush cave one more time and see how much moss I can grab. I can also grab a little more clay and some other, you know, bits and bobs while I'm there. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do that. The one thing I want to do before I go, and it's probably something I should have done a long time ago, is I want to make a bow, because I just like have been realizing that I have not been using any ranged combat pretty much the entire time I've lived in this world, which is crazy because we are on, I've never actually checked this. We are on day, I can never find it. 553. Holy moly. 553 no bows. At this point, I should make this a no ranged combat series, but I'm not going to do that. So we're going to make a bow, and I might run over to the zombie spawner really quick and get some levels so we can enchant it. And then I think we'll go from there. Should I just make it? Is this a fresh one? No, that's like about to be dead. This one, do I have enough string to just make one? How much string do I have? I've got some. I was hoping to reserve this for scaffolding, but I think I can spare a bit. And then some sticks and a fresh bow. All good stuff. And then I know I have like a decent supply of arrows. 29. Okay. I have some arrows. You know what the problem is? I've never gotten a chicken coop or anything set up, so I haven't gotten the supply of feathers, and I haven't been able to really make that many arrows. But who knows? Maybe when we're enchanting, we'll get infinity. That would be super cool. And I'm going to run over to the zombie spawner and gather up some levels. I mean, I literally only need one, like half of one to get level 30 enchantment for this, and then regardless of what we get, 29 arrows should last us on our little caving adventure, and we can grab some more moss and have enough for the roof and some other projects down the road, and we'll be all set. So cool stuff. All right, so we killed our literally like 3 zombies to get up to 30 levels, which took 5 seconds. So now we can get to enchanting this bad boy. Let's see what the table gives us. Oh, wait, no, I want. Why is this not working? Oh, because I'm putting it in the wrong slot. There we go. Okay. Power 3. Punch unbreaking. Awesome. Okay, all we need on that is infinity, and that is set. I am fully in the camp of infinity over mending on bows. I'm no good. I'm not a great shot, so being able to just have infinite arrows is a huge plus rather than never having to repair your bow. I remember a long time ago when you could have both on a bow, and those bows were so OP. I'm honestly not surprised that they got nerfed out of the game. And I had one on a server from before they nerfed it, and it was like the only one that could possibly exist. And then one day I died and I lost it because I like fell asleep while I was playing the game and died, and then the items despawned, and it was the saddest thing. I was so sad to lose that bow. But you know, we learn. All right, I just killed a chicken on the way back too, so I just was able to bump up my arrows a little bit more. This should hopefully make exploring that cave a little less stressful. So, all right, we got pretty much everything we need. We probably have a boat down there, but I think I've got one kicking around somewhere. No. I don't want to assume we have one down there because that's how I end up down there and then having to like cut down a random tree. So let's just grab a boat. Okay, and now we are off to get some moss. All right, so we hit up this lush cave, and as you can see, I've kind of destroyed this main area that we come into just by cutting out all the clay. I also got down there, actually kind of pushed through. Whoa, is that an axolotl? Is that a blue axolotl? Aren't those super rare? Here, wait, I gotta get down there again. Isn't that the blue one that's super rare? Am I crazy? I think that's the one that's super rare. I'm going to quickly smelt up some iron and make a bucket to grab that guy because that's pretty cool. Let's see. I need a little cobble, right? Yeah, I need a little cobble. And Crafting table. Some iron. Crap. I don't have anything to burn to... Will it take, like, bushes? Oh, it will. Cool. Okay. Yeah, just because I would love to grab that guy. I mean, any axolotl would be cool to get right now, but I'm pretty sure that's the special one that's, like, incredibly rare to get. So I'll grab him for sure. But yeah, so in my inventory, we've got a ton of moss, definitely plenty to do the roof project that I want to do with it. And I got a few stacks of clay, which is great. So I'm feeling pretty good, and I don't feel like we need to do too much more in here or anything really. Here, let me stop wasting those azalea bushes. Not that I'm gonna really use them for anything. Oh wait, crafting table. Buckets. All right, let's pick up this axolotl. You can pick them up in buckets if they're not. Well, can you tame an axolotl? I don't know. Nope. There we go. I got him. All right. So we got our axolotl, which is cool. It was not expecting to get one of those today, but I'll take it. Somebody in the comments, please let me know if that's the rare one or if I just found like a super common one. I thought the pink and like the brown ones were the more common ones, and I thought the blue was sort of the one that like was an anomaly, but I might be wrong. All right, let's get out of here. Let's head home, and then I think we can finish up this build. There's obviously a lot of detailing still to go, but we're getting pretty close to feeling pretty good about where we're at with this. I mean, the main structure is pretty much done, and we just need to throw on the roof of that tower, throw in some floors, get some like bees nests going, and I think we should be all set. Let me... Oh. Jeez. Children, you gotta hate the youths, right? I'm just kidding. If you're a young person watching my video, please don't think I don't like you. I just don't like baby zombies, and they're so aggressive and so unnecessary. All right, I think it's back this way. I'm pretty sure. All right, how we looking? Oh, this looks great. Yeah. This is super fun. I love the like different textures all playing with each other. It's just a totally different color palette. I think the only two elements that I'm really using over again, well, three elements, are the stone, the deep slate, and the spruce. I mean, the cherry and the birch, which are, I feel like, making up the bulk of the build, are really kind of shining through here. So this is a lot of fun. Now let's get the roof on this bad boy. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I hate these guys so much. It's like every single time I get jump scared by them. I should really make like a compilation of all the times these guys have jump scared me, because it's gotta be like in the dozens at this point. It's a little absurd. All right, but I think I finished off the roof. Let's take a free cam look at it. Look at that. Here, wait, let's look at it from this side because it's got the light on it. Look at that. Yeah. I ended up like doing a uneven top. I made this side a little taller than that side, and I think it really like lends itself into the fact that that's like an ad hoc sort of thing, that it's almost like the roof grew and less like it was built, which I think is awesome. And it totally fits the vibe of like what this build is, which is like a natural kind of like haven for bees and flowers and stuff. So I think that looks fantastic. I could not be happier with how that came out. So we're feeling real good about that. I think, I mean, definitely feeling pretty close to, if not done with, the main structure, and now we're just on to like interior and detailing. So I'm gonna take down this scaffolding because we don't need it. Let's get this out of the way. Well, we're probably going to need that actually to do some detailing on the edges here, but I can also try to do it from the inside. We have to figure out what's going on with like this roof line meeting here and then this roof line kind of being awkward there. I mean, if I brought this one up, I actually don't know that I can make those meet properly. Because, well, A, it's even, so they're going to meet, like, together on the same block. Or not on the same block, but on two different blocks. And then, it would be this one, right? Yeah, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't think I can, like, make those roof lines meet up. Which isn't, like, the end of the world. One thing I could do is I could kind of play with the way that this is meeting here. So if I like, because we don't need this. We do kind of need that top block. But then if we ran, let me collect those and grab some more slabs. There we go. I don't know why I went with the deep slate bricks for pretty much everything besides the base on this. I just, it felt right. So if we run like this across, can I make that like meet up in some kind of logical sense? Put that there. Well, this would have to go like here. And then even still, if I did that, that like doesn't really line up very nicely. Yeah, that feels a little funky. I'm actually like not offended by that. And then one way we could like kind of dress up these corners is by putting stairs around them. Huh. Okay, here, wait. I think we are getting somewhere. Oh my god. I always struggle with like what buttons to press to get out of free cam. It's such a struggle. Here, let me get rid of some of these scaffoldings because I don't think we're gonna need them again. Okay, I need some more deep slates or stairs. So nope, not that. Maybe like 24. It's a nice number. So, okay, that's at the end. It's 2, 1, 2. So it would have to be like here. Maybe one here. And then same on this side. And same on this side. Okay, what does that look like? Ooh. Yeah. No, that's great. That's perfect. I do really like that. Okay. All right. Let's do that all around. Yeah, that looks really good, actually. I'm kind of surprised by how well that looks. So, good stuff. All right. Now let's get back to our scaffolding. And let's put some blocks below, too, to kind of bring it down. And that's probably going to have to be slabs. So the question is, do we put them like here? Is that like too much? I feel like that might be a little bit much. I feel like the move is to put them like here. Maybe here. So something like that. I mean, it's doing something. Ooh. Yeah, I'm liking that. I think that looks really good. Yep. Nope. That's it. I'm feeling pretty good about the way this looks, honestly. This feels so unique and unconventional, and I'm just loving the color palette and sort of the shapes that are going on here. It just is like nothing else like I've built in this world, and it's so much fun. So cool stuff. All right. I mean, I say we like start punching out some windows. Like I think I'm good on this. I've definitely lost some scaffolding along the way because I think I started with 64 and we're down to like 61, which isn't a huge loss, but so I mean, I remember struggling with the idea of doing a 2x2 window here. And I kind of played with the idea of doing like the overhang here, but I don't think that idea is going to work anymore. So let's just see what happens if we like punch this out. Is that too much window? I think what will make it work is if I put some upside down stairs here. I think that's okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. And then we can like if we live with that convention of a 2x2 window, we could punch out like one more on the tower. The other thing I was thinking about that might look good on the tower is like a balcony of some kind. I don't know that we could squeeze one in. We're going to have to kind of play with the shapes, but let's get, I mean, if we're going to do a balcony, what should we do it out of? Should it be out of cherry? I feel like it has to be, right? Okay. It'll look better once there's like a door in place. But I think that's kind of cute. I'm sort of into that. And it like breaks up what's going on the tower instead of this long sort of bit of all birchwood. If we put like two doors there that were maybe cherry doors, I think that's gonna look good. So let's copy that on the other side. How many blocks up is it? Let's see. We put the stairs 1, 2, 3. They're on like the 4th block up from the trim. Cool. Yeah, I am into this. And then we can throw something here to sort of balance it out. Yeah. Yep. Let's get up there on the inside. Oh, it's dark. We should get all the way up there and put some torches down. Okay, now I need to, like, guesstimate. I mean, we could just use free cam. Where am I? All right, so it's like that bit right there. So this one, I think. And this one. Oh, ow. Okay, and then yeah. Okay. We should probably put a floor in place too. Thinking birch for the floor. Got some birch on me. Let's convert you to planks. And convert you to slabs. I think we'll run a ladder there. And just so that way we have room for the scaffolding, we'll leave this one little block in the middle open. So, cool. All right. Now, I don't have any birch stairs on me, but the other option could be... How does that look? It's kind of cute. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. What if we did... That's too much. Too much. Just to give us like a little overhang. Yeah, I think that's good. Perfect. And then let's just punch out a window on this side. Oh, that's not an axe. Okay. Now it's not perfectly in line with the balconies, but I think that's okay. I'm not terribly perturbed by that. Ooh. Yes. Yep. I do like the combination of spruce and the cherry. I'm wondering if I should change out these fences on here to spruce. That might help keep it from being like too much of one color block. I think that'll be worth doing. Oh, that's so much better. Yep. That kind of breaks it up and keeps it from being this like huge mass of pink. So awesome. All right, so we got a little bit of detail on the tower itself. We got to get up here and get some windows in. Oh my god, every time. We got to get some windows in the tower. How many? Oh, okay, I got plenty of birch slabs, and that's the corner where we're putting the ladder. So let's leave that open. Cool. I'm wondering if spruce accents on these windows would look good, or maybe, you know what, birch accents on those windows would look good. And I think I don't have any birch stairs on me, so let's grab some birch stairs. Hello. Can I go down? There we go. Cool. Okay. Yep. Yep. I'm into it. I think it looks great. Yeah, it just needs, we just need some glass in that window and it'll be all set. We can like rest something on that ledge, like we can put a lantern there or something. So let me copy that on the other side. Good stuff. And then we just gotta do something simple on these windows here. Yeah, something just little and simple like that. Didn't do the exact same. I just did the slabs and trapdoor combinations, but I think that does it. It doesn't need to be so like elongated the way this one is. Like there's not as much room to squeeze that in. So I think we're looking good. Yeah, I think we're looking really good. This tower has a lot going on with it. I think we just need some more little details, obviously, around the base and like base structures. And then we just need to do like interior stuff. And I'd love to just like leaf the heck out of this too, like leaves everywhere to make it feel like really overgrown. So yeah, let's just like plug away at that stuff. Yes. Oh my god, it looks so good. Yeah, I just want some like wrapping around the tower and I think we might be good. And then like maybe some lanterns scattered throughout and we might be looking real good, real fresh for this build. Loving it. So happy with how this is coming out. All right, we got some going around the tower. Looking good. I got to squeeze some in here. And then I think for the top, I don't know, it might be worth like having some overhang from the roof. Or maybe even just like a little bit like right here on each of the corners. I don't know. I don't even know if it needs any on the top, honestly. Yeah, I think it might be good. I think the only other place I want to put them is just like some right here, like a little branch kind of poking out. Oh, this is awesome. This is so cool. Okay, great. Now I just want to get some on the inside of the dome, and then I also want to get, I should have grabbed some glowberries. I grabbed a spore blossom because I want that cool particle effect, but if we had some glowberries too, that would be perfect. I think it looks so good in here. I am so happy. I'm gonna move some torches around. I'd rather them not be like sitting on the ground. Probably just like in each corner. Like that. And then we can put like a fence post, like maybe right here with like a lantern on it, just to give it like the ambient lighting from the center. And then once the glowberries grow in, it'll sort of light up the actual dome shape. I mean, this is looking so good. I'm so happy with it. Yes! Baby bee! Oh my god, it's so cute. I love baby bees. They're so adorable. Oh my god. Well, alright, so we've got a little bee population going in here, which is great. We can just keep breeding them, and they'll just keep producing honey for us, which is fantastic. Or honey and beeswax, which arguably I find the beeswax more useful, because you can make candles, and you can wax copper and everything. You know, honey, I know you can make honey blocks, and those are pretty useful too, but I don't know, I just use the beeswax more. So, I mean, with that, we might be looking pretty good for this build. Let me just, I know I grabbed some, or I have some on me. It's not a lot, but I just wanted to bone meal around here, and like, I'm totally okay with it being like a little overgrown looking. There we go. Nice. Okay, perfect. So now it looks a little bit more blended into the landscape. Let's just take one last little float around of this build. So we've got our tower, we've got our like apiary space, we've got our entryway. In there is sort of the airlock between the apiary and the sort of entryway. You know, everything is like this really funky, cool color scheme of cherry wood with birch and spruce and deep slate. I think they all work really nicely off each other, and even like the awkward bits, like the fact that this tower was 6 blocks wide as opposed to 5 blocks wide, I think it really came out well. I actually, from afar, I love the fact that that's like, it makes it look like slightly bent or curved, the way that is the top of the tower is not even. So I love that. We've got like our balconies. This has been such a fun build, and I think it came out really great, and it's a wonderful, wonderful addition, you know, to the valley. It just sort of looks over everything, and from that tower you get such a good view of everything we've done, and I can't wait to fill in the rest of this, because now we have just this big blank empty slate, and if we can fill this area in, this whole valley will really start to feel nice and filled out. You know, I, like I've said many times now, I have a plan for like this portion of the hill, but there's a part of me that almost wonders if it's worth expanding some farmlands over this side, just to kind of like wrap the whole valley in some farmlands. So we're gonna see. You know, I don't have a full idea of what's gonna go in this sort of blank empty space between the villager encampment and the hill. So we'll see. Definitely some farmlands would be a good sort of filler for that. And then we obviously need to start getting some stuff like in here and lining the mountain, and you know, we'll start to feel really, really full out. It's crazy to see the progress we've made though. You know, I remember on, I think it was like the third or fourth episode when I built the mining outpost, I was like, oh my god, we've done so much. And now just like flying around here, like in free cam, and looking at like everything we've done, I mean, with the farmlands alone, this is so much more full. Then we've got like 4 good structures here, and we're starting to expand this way with the apiary and the logging house over here. So like, we're really using our space efficiently and effectively, and we're not just, you know, basing up, like putting everything in one building or one sort of compound and having it all right next to each other. Like, we have to like move around and travel in order to do our, like, you know, building and everything, which can be a hindrance sometimes. Like, obviously when I'm all the way over there and they need to run all the way back to the storage house, it's a little bit of a pain. But I'd much rather the way this looks in terms of the functionality of the base and the aesthetics of the base than just like throwing everything in one room and just calling it a day, you know? And that's sort of the story here too, is that we're building up this area to be like livable, and you know, and to resemble something like a home base or something. I don't know, I'm super pleased with all this. So Whoops. Thank you so much everyone for joining in on this episode. I had a lot of fun, doing all the detailing today and then getting that build done. I think it was, a very productive episode, and it was nice to get back in this world after taking a little break and doing the commentary long plays. Definitely keep an eye out for those, because those are going to be, I think, every other week I'm going to do one of those, and then every other week I'm going to do one of these. So we're still going to be, keeping the story going in this world, but we're also going to be, exploring some one-off worlds. And definitely let me know in the comments if there's, a particular one-off commentary long play that you enjoyed that you'd like to see further moved forward, because a couple of those, or the two that I've done so far, like the first one, I had some really good ideas for other things I could build, and I would love to revisit that one. I think for now I'm just going to keep on doing like individual one-offs, so that way there's, something new every week, but definitely would not be opposed to revisiting one of those worlds. So yeah, all right. Well, thank you. I know I just said this, but thank you again. If you watched this far, if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel out, and it shows me that people are liking my content and they want to see more. And leave a like. Definitely let me know in the comments things that you liked about the video, things you might do differently. And yeah, I will see you all in the next one.